Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us to Brand Innovators and Aston Martin. Really excited to be here with James and Emily. I'm Amanda Marandola. I lead media and data partnerships for AccuWeather, working with a number of our luxury partners to reach and engage the right audiences with first-party data. So excited to dive into, building loyalty when high net worth spend is shifting and really discussing some of the strategies that both James and Emily have employed. So I'll hand it over to them to introduce themselves and share a little bit more about their brand and roles within.
Hi, I'm Emily Coppock. I head up U.S. marketing for Clé de Peau Beauté, which is the crown jewel of the Shiseido group. Clé de Peau Beauté is the #1 luxury beauty brand in Japan, but very unknown here, and that's my biggest challenge, brand awareness. Oh my God, it really is hot up here. So and since I have this captive audience, I'm going to do a little brand awareness building about the brand so you all know what it is. So Clé de Peau Beauté was born from over 40 years of revolutionary skin cell science. So it's a brand that is founded on It's founded on the insight called skin intelligence, which is the idea or the philosophy that that skin, like the brain, is smart and has the ability to innately discern between good stimuli like sleep and moisture and nutrients versus bad stimuli like pollution, UV rays, and stress. So Clé de Peau Beauté products has been formulated to improve the skin intelligence, to innately self-care and self-optimize, and that's what our brand stands for. So that's where I come from.
Good afternoon, and thank you guys for having us. My name is James Shay. I'm the global president of ISAIA. ISAIA, pronounced is a Neapolitan luxury clothing brand. It's on its third generation of family-run business and is a collection currently only for men, even though we're dabbling a little bit with the stronger sex to see how that all works. And I've been at the company for 17 years. I've had stints at Zegna, Calvin Klein, Donna Karan, Valentino before, and so it just means I'm getting older.
So both of your brands have, such rich heritage on a global scale and really a steadfast commitment to excellence overall. How do you, balance that, identifying the high net worth luxury consumer with also staying authentic to your brand and relevant with the need to really engage a wider audience?
For ISAIA, to be honest, we celebrate the idea of craftsmanship. We utilize a brand logo that we think, frankly, is more of a representation of luck, and I'll tell you that story later, and really understand that we're using the culture of Campania as a backdrop of everything we do from a brand communication perspective. So for us, we use all three of those pillars to widen the net and or try and educate our potential consumers in a way that makes it fun for us, hopefully entertaining for them. How we expanded on the digital side, I would say, internally we feel like digitally we're still using a flip phone. But, our focus and the things that we wake up daily about are much more product and customer related. So it's one of those things where we're fine-tuning the digital sort of expansion of the thought, but we sort of anchor back to those things.
And Emily?
So Clé de Peau Beauté, because it's relatively unknown, it's if you know brand, it's quiet luxury, you have to know about it. So it's really, at odds because luxury, of course, you always want to scale luxury, but it's very hard to scale. It's literally super high touch, one person at a time. Word of mouth is my upper funnel media in a sense. This is where we are. So it's hard, and the ultra high net worth customer is the 1% of the 1%, and they're very elusive. And my distribution, because it's in traditional beauty, luxury, where you purchase beauty, it's really department stores. 85% of our business is in department stores, but ultra high net worth clients mostly don't shop department stores, so it's very, very challenging. So we talked about this when we were prepping, and talked about how we really have to go where they are. Where do they play? Where do they shop? Where do they spend their holidays? That's literally, you have to find them and follow them. And I think that came up earlier with Andy. I think Andy brought this up. We have to be where they are, and so that's really how I'm scaling, one person at a time, I guess.
And meeting the consumers where they are is so critical. And I know, we talked a lot about this when we prepped, but, these exclusive opportunities are really key when trying to reach and engage these more affluent audiences. How do you guys create long-term value and really redefine exclusivity? And I know there were a couple great examples that you both told that I'm excited for you to share with everyone on how you accomplish that.
Go ahead.
So for us, obviously we have the same wholesale distribution as you, but as we've grown and opened our own stores, it is paramount to us to really, really get to know our customers, to build long-lasting relationships, to sort of build trust at the level of engagement. And I think for us, in the marketplace, as we all know, the race to entertain our clients is a real thing. When you consider guests being, given ideas of the Aston Martin drive and the ship cruises, and in our case, we do a lot of different activations. So in order to keep them a little interested, you sort of almost have to break it down into different groups. Number one is sort of access. So when they were mentioning earlier today the idea of scarcity or rarity, that is something that we frankly love. We love to buy less than what the customer wants. And I think for us, we will, not only on a scarcity perspective related to how many of an item we'd sell, we also engage our customers in private shopping events where literally the owner will come around with a leather bag with a lock on it, only shows them fabrications that don't exist in the market right now that are all exclusive to our brand. They sit with master tailors to come up with new and innovative products that don't even exist in our collection, to give them sort of access to things that are on the personalization sort of side. And and then conversely to that, you can go down the list of like time, right? So even valuing the customer's time, understanding what they really want from you is just to come in, ask for what they want, and get it immediately. And so, we've got literally programs that exist for you to speed the turnaround time for a garment for you by, instead of 7 weeks, it's 6 days.
Absolutely incredible exclusive experiences, very bespoke, and certainly something that I'm sure your customers appreciate. And Emily, I know you had recently shared about the event that you guys did on Roosevelt Island, which was incredibly successful.
Yes, so it's something I definitely agree. Like the hyper personalized, like bespoke master classes that it's definitely high touch experiences that move your customer and really engage them and create loyalty. But then, we have to think about how do I actually get my brand name out there? And I'm just trying to get people to know Clé de Peau Beauté and even say those words and that I'm in beauty. Like literally, this is where I'm at. And so we decided to do something really unexpected. We chose to partner with a hyper-realistic artist named CJ Hendry, who's very well aligned with our brand. Our brand DNA, our pillars are exquisite, intelligent, and uncompromising, and that's exactly what her art is and her craft. She does pencil drawings and thousands of hours of her just drawing hyper-realistic art. And we decided, and she doesn't even partner with anybody. So we reached out and somehow it worked out that she was interested in the partnership. She loved our brand. So we started to discuss ways to bring the brand to life, but really make it super much hers as well as ours, and really a true partnership. In this case, I did something that I know a lot of luxury brands might not proceed in the same way. We talk about personalities of brands, right? We're talking about that. And I looked at her brand in this market and I said, she's the bigger brand. and I'm going to let her run with it because I want her audience, and her audience is high-end art collector, and it's an audience that I don't have, and it's an opportunity for me to acquire. And so I let her run with it, and I trusted her, and I think she really liked that part, obviously, because she's the artist, and she really really appreciated and the respect that I had for her work. And it became so, because of that trust, she like tenfold or xfold, returned it by talking more about our brand, creating content. She's a content creator, influencer first and foremost. She has she has 1 million followers. So for me, it was just paid back in spades, and how we partnered. But basically, we created an immersive, large-scale immersive experience on Roosevelt Island. We erected a 4,800 square foot greenhouse filled with 100,000 plush flowers. And these plush flowers were inspired by the botanicals that are found in Clé de Peau Beauté products. And we decided to go big or go home. We had this event during New York Fashion Week, literally right in the middle of New York Fashion Week. And it's also on Roosevelt Island, so we were like, how many people are going to show up? I'm going to goal myself at 1,000 a day, maybe. It was a 3-day event. We had a VIP party. 600 people showed up of our VVIPs, influencers, editors, stylists, fashion, so we brought the fashion and beauty crowd. She brought all the art crowd. So it was a really great and fun mix. Martha Stewart showed up, Jordan Roth showed up, like New York City icons who made it to Roosevelt Island, which I'm like, how am I asking these people to come to Roosevelt Island and experience this? But it was really great. And then the first day of public opening, we had a line around, so it was at Four Freedoms Park, if you're familiar with Roosevelt Island. So it was wrapped around twice. It was a 3-hour wait to come in and see the installation. And people spent hours picking their bouquets of fake flowers, by the way. So it was really amazing just to see them interacting with the brand. And really the whole idea was to reinforce our positioning as a brand that sparks radiance and joy. And that's what it was. We saw that. And the audience was so qualified. I mean, the amount of plush flowers I saw like stuffed into Birkin bags. So many pictures of it, so many posts. It was incredible. And then the second day on Roosevelt Island, it was a Saturday, 8,000 people came and we shut down the island, like maximum capacity. They closed us down. And then we had to move it overnight, moved heaven and earth to find us another space for the last day. We moved to Industry City, which is also impossible to get to. People showed up at 6 a.m. to go to this event.
Wow.
And they lined up for 4 hours and got through. And we ended up having, over 7,700 people come through and experience. And I was able to sample and see, it was just an incredible experience. And to see that happen in New York City, like a very jaded community.
And clearly that experience paid off, because I know you had incredible ROI from that, between social posts and video views and press hits.
Yeah, it was really great. So
I think we actually have a quick recap video to share so you guys can really feel what that immersive experience was like. If we can click into the video. Well, either way, you can find a number of hits on social media. I know you got incredible coverage from it. So it's definitely something that if you look up Clé de Peau or CJ Henry. Oh, here we go.
Get down. Yes, sir. Slip and slide records. Finna take it to the highs. Just get on up and get down. Calling my peoples all across the world. Get down. This song goes out to all the boys and girls. You want the thug to come and turn your body out. You better take it to the high. Come on, yes, sir. Slip and slide getting loose. More punch than your bowl of juice. And ain't nobody more jiggy than us. Stuff so rough it causes head rush like whoa. Give it to me, bring it here. Don't stop, girl. Shake it here, shake it there. Let
Overcrowded. Are we actually getting shut down?
Yes. Stop moving! Park is unfortunately at capacity and will no longer be accepting guests.
Hit me up, tradeplus.com and tell me where you from. Smoke out, choke out, we get off the chain like we just broke out. You don't know about me, J-Dot. When I come through, all the haters get hot. Cause I got more hoes, more dang, more cheese in the bank, more rain. My dogs on dubs, yours ain't. My dogs do whatever, yours can't. Cause we them niggas that's gon' make you get up out your seat. We don't play, we take it to the house. MIA, take it to the house. This the way we take it to the house. Take it to the house, take it to the house.
Such a great experience, an incredible event. Thinking along the lines of influencers, right? CJ Henry obviously was huge for this specific event. How do, investing in your people, like your sales consultants or your, beauty consultants, how does that really play off when you're trying to really reach and engage that luxury consumer, and also thinking about, the connectivity there?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, especially as the brand has grown, I would tell you that for being a small brand, those salespeople in the market are almost as strong as some of your marketing campaigns. And I would say when you are really small and you're really scrappy, I would say that for us, we even prioritize some of our marketing spend off of the entire budget cap and put it towards those people. I think the more you invest in them, the more you educate them. The reality is, especially on the wholesale side. On the wholesale side, it's the game. You either, at least in the luxury space, you live and die by that person in the store, and it's meaningful. In your own stores, of course, we have so much more control over that. In the luxury space for men, you're only hiring professionals who have been in the business for a long time, who have really steep knowledge, who always think they dress really well until they come here, of course. But I think it's really, really important.
Yeah, I think the same thing, like you live and die by people, and I would take I shouldn't say this, but I would take all my AMP and spend it on like our beauty consultants, because that's where the true ROI is. They have a book of business these ultra high net worth customers will go with wherever their beauty consultants go. So if they leave our brand and go to another brand, they'll follow them, because that's how important they are in their lives. So it's really the influence that they have is more than any influencer really out there in terms of like ones that are bringing awareness to your brand. So I think it's definitely somewhere that you have to focus your efforts on, and to keep them happy, and to invest in them, and to give them access and opportunities. And you have to treat them like, give them the PR experience, so then they can talk about your brand and want to, really help you amplify.
I know you've talked about, giving them the same type of rewards as your loyal customers as well. Again, that building that trust with the consumers that are your most loyal consumers is key, and they're at the front lines of it.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the evolution of trends and the emphasis on self-care, especially in a post-COVID world, how has that affected the evolution of your product lines and how you, approach building loyalty with high net worth consumers?
For us, I would say all of our customers are in the high net worth area. So I think for us, it's not even about changing the product or the collection related to what they want or need. It's just about identifying the marketplace, the idea of what you want to represent in the market. I would say, specifically in the last few years, of course, as you all know. So we talked earlier about the cruise ships who had a lot of downtime during COVID. I want you to think about all the men that were dressed well during COVID, and then feel the pain I was having while I watched my sales go nowhere and wished I was on a cruise ship. So I would say, and as well, I think we internally, we use the phrase, don't let a good crisis go to waste. And so for us, during the middle of COVID, I would say pre-COVID, I would say the sportswear side of our business, or the more casual side of it, was between 10 and 15% of our business, small, really focused on luxury tailored. And in the middle of it, not only did we use the crisis downtime to pivot, we didn't walk away from our core clothing aesthetic, but we completely added an incredible amount of products to the assortment plans. We expanded our factory by 3 times in the middle of COVID. So in the middle of COVID, we were building essentially a new factory, internalizing production so that we could keep all the quality at the same level as the clothing. So we internalized leathers and outerwear and knitwear and jersey and denim washings and all kinds of things that we knew we'd need moving in. We added design teams. We, in the middle of COVID, negotiated a few open leases. So we opened stores in Miami and Toronto. We bought our London store back. We opened a store in St. Moritz. We signed a couple new stores. And for us, it was literally the difference between me speaking for ISAIA right now or me doing something else.
It makes all the difference, especially being able to, no matter what is happening in the world, meet the consumer and their needs wherever they are, as we've talked about. Emily, what about you?
So we highly benefited from self-care during the time of COVID because, being a skincare leading business, we were 60% skincare, 40% makeup, and all the makeup is also skincare based. So for us, it was very easy, and we totally leaned into it, and everyone became an expert on skincare. Everybody wanted a regimen. You're looking at yourself in Zoom like all day long, like everyone. But it changed how we spoke about our products, right? Everyone wanted to see the efficacy. So it takes a little bit away from all the luxury kind of allure that we were really putting forth, an image, and more about like the efficacy, the ingredients, the claims, things that our brand holders in Tokyo weren't very used to. They were into like 80s campaigns, are very glamorous, and then they were like, oh no, we have to show like before and afters, and they just like blew their minds, like, why would you want to see that? But it's what this market, want, and obviously other. The change of the times, everybody, have now adopted this. But there's obviously a way to do it elevated and editorialized, and there's a way, you see it in the real space. But it definitely changed how we communicated and what we communicated. But it was definitely very beneficial for us to be able to be in the space and to be able to speak to and respond to it.
So I know we're running out of time here. Are there any final thoughts that both of you want to leave with luxury brands just on how to really, engage that, loyal following in the high net worth space?
I mean, I would just say something that we all know. The luxury consumer is a fickle consumer who's got incredible options. When you think you're doing a great job addressing what they want on a material level, just realize they can literally have almost anything. If you think about what their lifestyle looks like and feels like, you almost have to make that the given that you're giving them the idea of what they believe is the shopping experience or the experience with your brand, and then start to prioritize really relationship building, really understanding what those customers want, need, think about, and trying to address that as quickly as possible, because there's a lot of great product in almost every vertical you can think of. So for me, that's
It makes all the difference.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think it's, luxury it's an idea, it's a belief, it's philosophy. You don't need it. It's an irrational thought that things that you're buying, and in skincare, you don't even see it. So it's like, right? So for me, it's like, how do you convince that person that could have anything to buy us? And it's calling, you have to go back to your heritage, the heritage story, the craftsmanship. It's still that, the exclusivity, and the emotional connection and experience that you have with the brand. That's all still there. So, what do they say? Like, luxury is a necessity. Luxury becomes a necessity when necessity ends. So that's kind of where you have to start thinking about how to make that connection with your consumer, and they're going to use your product because it's something that speaks to them, and that is that really defines who they are. It's an identifier. So I think that's something that you have to lean into, make sure that's true and authentic. I know we throw around authenticity all the time, but it really is like everyone can see right through it if
Always. And I mean, again, going back to the influencer space, one of the reasons that, your sales consultants, your beauty consultants are so successful is because you can see that authenticity. You can see who's passionate about the brand. So some key things being craftsmanship, exclusivity, and staying true to, that authenticity as a brand.
Also, I think we should all be in Formula One, because that's what my key takeaway from today.
12 Super Bowls, I'll take it.
Well, James, Emily, thank you both so much. Really appreciate your time.